Want to play like the legends? The Ruy Lopez is the best opening used by world champions from Bobby Fischer to Magnus Carlsen. On move 3, you start setting traps that even grandmasters fear. So let's break it down move by move and see why the 16th century Spanish idea still rules the board today. Let's begin the opening. e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5 and knight f6. Here begins the Ruy Lopez Berlin defense, famously solid and often played at top levels. Black develops the knight instead of defending the e5 pawn immediately, aiming for quick development and a durable structure. d3 and bishop c5. White chooses the anti-Berlin with d3, avoiding the massive theory of mainline Berlin endgame. It keeps the center flexible. Black responds with bishop c5, developing the quickly and eyeing the f2 pawn. Castles d6, rook e1 and double. Both side castles and reinforces the e file. White's rook e1 prepares for central breaks like c3 to d4 and even tactical themes with knight b2, knight f1 and knight g3, followed by bishop into c6 and d into c6. This trade doubles black's pawn but opens the b file and gives black the bishop pair. h3 followed by rook e8, knight b d2 and knight d7. The idea behind h3 is to prevent bishop g4 or knight g4, often seen as a waiting or flexibility move. Knight b d2 supports knight c4 or prepares d4, while black plays knight d7, possibly planning knight f8 to knight g6 and kingside defense. And knight c4 was played by white, bishop b6, a4 and a5. Knight c4 attacks the e5 pawn and eyeing e6. Black meets this pressure with bishop b6, a4 to a5 is thematical. White wants to restrict black's queenside play and make b6 backward. Knight takes b6 and c takes b6. White captures the active bishop and damages pawn structure and even further, but this gives blacks the open c file and semi-open b file, creating counterplay ideas. This is the main lane of Ruy Lopez. White builds a solid and strategical setup, avoiding early sharp tactics, while black keeps dynamic pawn structures with plans around pieces, activities and open file. This version of Ruy Lopez is rich in strategies and very suitable for high level maneuvering. So let's see an example game which was played by Carlsen and Anand. So let's start the game. The opening phase is up to move number 12 as we saw in main line. Up to this, Carlsen achieved the clear goals, controlling key dark squares, restricting pawn breaks and launch a kingside attack. This stage is set. The middle game battle is start from the move 13. d4 and queen e7. Carlsen strikes the center. Anand responds with queen c7, eyeing e5 and preparing to support d5 or b5. Rook a3 was played and knight f6. Here comes the magic. Rook a3 is a rare move but a genius multi-purpose rook lift. It can swing to g3, c3 or even a1 again, followed by d takes e5 and d takes e5 at trade. Knight h4, rook d8 and queen h5 and f6. White builds pressure. The knight jumps to f5 and the queen eyeing h7. Even Anand is forced to defend with f6, weakening dark squares. Knight f5 was played, bishop e6 followed by rook g3 and knight g6. The rook swings into action. Carlsen builds a 3-piece battery, queen, rook and knight ready to strike. Anand tries to lift back with knight g3, h4, bishop f5, e5 and knight f4. A trade occurs, but now the f4 knight looks active. But Carlsen is not bothered. He calmly continues. Bishop takes f4 and e takes f4, rook c3 and c5. Magnus eliminated black's strong piece and swings his rook to c3. Anand plays c5 hoping to activate the queen side, but it's too slow. Rook e6 and rook a b8, another brilliant rook lift. Rook e6, white completely controls the center and open files. Then the tactical transition moves start at the move number 25. Here the tactical errors to be occurred. Rook c4 was played by Carlsen and followed by queen d7, king h2, which is a prophylactic move, and rook f8. Carlsen shifts the rook to c4, fixing eyes on c5. He calmly plays king h2, improving king safety before striking. Rook c e4 and rook b7, queen e2 and b5. Anand tries to break free with b5, but it only weakens him further. Watch how Carlsen converts. b3, b takes a4, b takes a4, rook b4. Trade continues, but now black's pieces are awkwardly placed. Rook e7, queen d8 and queen f3 was played, rook takes e4. Carlsen offers a temporary sacrifice, forcing exchanges. Anand takes the bait, and the final blow starts. Queen takes e4 and f3 check, g3, h5, followed by queen b7. It's over. Queen b7 hits g7 and paralyzes black. If rook f7, then queen a8 comes and Anand resigns. Carlsen's pieces were perfectly placed, rooks on open files, queen dominating and no rush, just pure control. This is how you suffocate a top level opponent without needing flashy tactics. I hope if you enjoyed this deep dive into the Ruy Lopez, hit the like button and subscribe for more Grandmaster level breakdowns. This is Checkmate City, where the strategies meets precision. See you in the next one. Thank you.